Everyone has that story, right? We all from tough locations, and that's just the way the world was set up. But just like the things that we were able to overcome and where we sit now today.
66 and a grown-ass man has accomplished a lot of things. You see anyone 60 in their 60s, you say Mr. or Mrs.
And I do. And I'm from the South, born and raised. However,
my mama would be really disappointed. People that call me Matthew are people that I know, that they're friends of mine, and we're in the same circles, financial circles, and in those type of meetings. But nobody.
I feel you. You in a whole nother tax bracket. You better put a missile on that thing.
Don't get your ass on up.
You'll have people that where you come from, if you behave in a certain manner, it's not accustomed to where they are, right? Some people haven't evolved past 16. They still stuck in that place, but you evolving every year. So that may be a threat to them.
DNA doesn't lie. That's the line that lit up social media like wildfire. And the name tied to it is Leticia Mason, a 28-year-old woman from Maryland who's not just claiming Jay-Z as her biological father, she's saying her family always knew. And when people saw her photos, the reaction was instant. Side-by-side pictures of Leticia and Jay-Z started circulating everywhere. Same nose, same mouth, same eyes. It wasn't just resemblance, it was uncanny. People were tagging Jay-Z, posting side eyes, demanding answers. But here's where things really got messy. The alleged source of this DNA drama isn't a gossip blog or a distant cousin clout chasing for views. It's Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father, the man who helped launch her career, managed Destiny's Child, and for years helped shape the Carter-Knowles brand from behind the scenes. And now, he's the one threatening to leak DNA proof that could expose that Jay-Z has a secret daughter he's been hiding for decades. But this isn't just about a random girl from Maryland. This is about revenge, power, and a family empire that might be rotting from within.
My name is Leticia Mason from Cambridge, Maryland. My mom, her name is Leticia Mason. She has multiple sclerosis. I've been hearing that Jay-Z was my father all my life. There's no way that he can deny anything. I was going to leave it alone. They brought me one of those ancestry tests. Finally, I get some type of answers. He knows that I exist.
So who exactly is Leticia Mason? She's 28 years old, lives in Maryland, and up until recently was just another name with a story that most people ignored. But once the photos started making rounds, people couldn't unsee it. There's a strange mirror effect between Leticia and Jay-Z that had folks pausing their scroll. But Leticia isn't just claiming resemblance, she's claiming blood. According to her, her family has always known Jay-Z was her father. Mother allegedly told her as a teen. Leticia says Jay-Z didn't just ghost her existence, he helped financially at one point. Word is, Leticia's home in Maryland was partially paid for by someone close to Jay-Z, maybe even Jay himself. Not directly, of course, but through intermediaries. And while some people might assume Leticia wants fame or cash, that's not what she's asking for. She's not suing, she's not shopping for a reality show. She's demanding a paternity test. And how has Jay-Z responded? He hasn't. And in a situation like this, that silence doesn't feel like strength. And where there's one secret child, there might be more. Let's rewind the clock. Before Leticia, there was Ramir Satterthwaite, and his fight with Jay-Z started over a decade ago. He claimed Jay-Z was his biological father. His mother said the two had a relationship back in the early 90s. After she passed, Ramir picked up the fight himself, trying to get a court-ordered paternity test. But here's where it got strange. Even with multiple filings, multiple judges, and media coverage, the courts never forced Jay-Z to take that test. His legal team argued technicalities, claimed the filings were in the wrong jurisdiction, and said the documentation was incomplete. They didn't deny the relationship, they just made it legally impossible to test it. At one point, Ramir said he didn't even want Jay-Z's money, he just wanted a DNA swab. That's it. Still, it never happened. And what does that tell us? There's a pattern. two separate people, same story. But what if this time the evidence comes from inside the family? Now let's talk about Matthew Knowles, Beyoncé's father and the man who helped build her entire brand. For years, he was in charge, the mastermind behind Destiny's Child, the manager who guided Beyoncé from teen stardom to global icon. But somewhere along the way, he got cut out. Publicly, it was brushed off as a clean break, but insiders say it was far from peaceful. Word is, Jay-Z was the one who pushed for Matthew to be removed, that he wanted tighter control over Beyoncé's career and didn't want her father calling shots anymore. And when you strip a man of power like that, don't expect him to forget. Now, years later, Matthew is allegedly sitting on the DNA results that could blow the Carter legacy.
I actually played a major role in the strategy of their career. Yeah. And now they're reaping the benefits of that. So it makes me very proud of both.
For years, Jay-Z has carefully crafted a public image. Billionaire mogul, music icon, loyal husband to Beyoncé, father to Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir. Every move has been calculated to support that picture, clean, powerful, and in control. But right now, behind the scenes, that image is under quiet review. Insiders say some of Jay-Z's corporate partners are already going over their contracts, and not just the fine print. We're talking morality clauses, the kind buried deep in sponsorship deals and business partnerships that basically say, if you get caught in something that makes us look bad, we're out. And while none of these companies are going public just yet, there's movement. Legal teams are allegedly combing through agreements tied to Roc Nation, Tidal, and even foundations connected to Jay and Beyoncé's philanthropy work. All of it being quietly reevaluated. Why? Because once a scandal involves DNA, court filings, and possible hush payments, it's no longer a rumor. It becomes a liability. There are even whispers that some settlement bills have been put on pause. In legal speak, that means we know there's a problem and we're trying to clean it up before the public finds out. That's what happens when people with money start seeing cracks in the brand they've invested in. It's not just about one woman's paternity claim anymore, it's about the domino effect. If Leticia's story is true, and if Matthew Knowles drops that DNA test, then Jay-Z's public persona as a devoted family man could collapse overnight. But this rabbit hole doesn't stop with baby mama drama. It leads back to a name you forgot to connect. Aaliyah. Long before Beyoncé, long before the Carter Empire, there were rumors that Jay-Z was briefly linked to Aaliyah. They were never confirmed as a couple, but multiple sources say they were close. That is, until she started dating Damon Dash, Jay-Z's then business partner and co-founder of Rockefeller. Then in 2001, Aaliyah passed away in a plane crash. But here's the part that's hard to ignore. That plane was 700 pounds overweight. The pilot was not licensed to fly that particular aircraft. Toxicology reports later revealed traces of substances in his system. And Aaliyah? She didn't even want to board the flight. One witness claims Aaliyah was drugged, unconscious, and carried onto the plane. Now ask yourself this: why would anyone go to such lengths to force someone onto a faulty aircraft? Here's where things get heavy, and this isn't new. Industry whispers have always pointed fingers at shady logistics, last-minute aircraft changes, and powerful figures wanting her gone. Some have gone as far as to say that Aaliyah's demise opened the door for another rising star from Houston to take center stage, one managed by her own father and who benefited from Aaliyah's absence the most. Jay-Z and Beyoncé's careers took off shortly after, and it gets darker. If Leticia really is Aaliyah's daughter, we're not talking scandal. We are talking legacy theft. Here's where the financial trail might be the most damaging. Some insiders claim that Leticia wasn't paid off with Jay-Z's money, she was paid with Aaliyah's. According to 3 former accountants tied to Rockefeller and Roc Nation, royalty streams linked to Aaliyah's posthumous work were quietly redirected. Not directly, of course, that would be too easy, but allegedly filtered through shell companies that blurred the source. From there, that money was used to pay off book expenses expenses, including possible settlements. A music supervisor who worked on licensing Aaliyah's songs said that every time they tried to finalize usage rights, someone from Roc Nation blocked it. Jay-Z's team may have had a vested interest in keeping Aaliyah's estate in limbo and controlling how her story was told. If Leticia really is her daughter and she had legal rights tied to that estate, then controlling the money flow means controlling the leverage. If even one of those payments can be traced, this becomes more than paternity. It becomes criminal exploitation.
Do you ever feel sorry for Damon Dash, man? Whenever you hear about like his financial problems and things like that.
Nah, Dame's a hustler. Dame will figure it out. Like, Dame, very smart guy, you know, so he'll figure it out.
Because that's what I did. And that's why right now, the best thing and the best feeling in the world is that my daughters can call and know that I'm not on nothing that's gonna embarrass them. That they're actually making jokes.
Damon Dash is the same guy who used to call out Jay-Z publicly, who loudly mourned Aaliyah as the love of his life, and who's never been shy about dragging people when he feels betrayed. But now, with Leticia's claims making headlines, with Jay-Z's name tied to Aaliyah again, Dash has said nothing. And let's be clear, Damon was in those rooms. Back in the early 2000s, he was right there with Jay-Z, touring with Aaliyah, building Rockefeller. He saw what happened behind closed doors. If anyone would know the truth about Leticia's backstory, it's him. Some insiders think that Dash is being quiet because he's tied up in the same financial web. If hush money or royalties tied to Aaliyah were used, and if Dash knew about it, that could make him liable too. Others think the silence might be personal, or maybe he's just trying not to pick a side, especially if what he knows could burn both Jay-Z and Matthew Knowles. Now let's talk about Beyoncé. She hasn't said a word, and for someone who usually keeps her brand polished and visible, this kind of silence stands out. Is she staying out of it, or is she preparing for something bigger, like protecting her own name? If Leticia Mason is legally confirmed as Jay-Z's daughter, that raises big questions about inheritance, about estate planning, about trust fund clauses that usually don't account for secret heirs. What happens to Blue Ivy's future? What about the twins? Could Leticia have legal rights to the Carter legacy? And more importantly, did Beyoncé know? Because if she did, this isn't just a scandal, it's a family betrayal on every level, and all roads lead back to one man, not Jay-Z, but the man who made Beyoncé, Matthew Knowles. Matthew Knowles isn't talking out of bitterness, he's talking like a man who's been collecting receipts. Jay-Z didn't just take his daughter's hand. According to insiders, he took control over Beyoncé's career, her image, even her empire. And Matthew, he was no longer her manager. Now, Matthew allegedly holds the one thing that could flip the entire Carter legacy upside down, a verified DNA test. Because if Jay-Z really did build his public empire while hiding private truths, including a daughter with Aaliyah, then Matthew Knowles isn't just leaking secrets. He's taking everything back. The empire wasn't built overnight, but with one piece of paper, it could all come crashing down. So is this the fall of the Carter dynasty? Or just the first crack in a kingdom built on silence? Drop your thoughts, theories, and tea in the comments.